we want to, obviously acknowledge everyone's feedback in regards to reducing player power. We know it is bad. We know it is not fun, and it's something that we ourselves know that it's not the greatest play experience for players out there. And then separately, we do want to also talk about how we don't plan on doing a patch like this ever again.
Do we continue to pour all that effort into PvE, hoping that we can land it at some point in the future? Or do we stick with this set of values we've aligned on and focus on the live game and focus on serving all of you? With everything we've learned about what it takes to operate this game at the level that you deserve, it's clear that we can't deliver on that original vision for PvE that was shown in 2019. What that means is that we won't be delivering that dedicated hero mode with talent trees, that long-term power progression. Those things just aren't in our plans anymore. And we know that this is going to be disappointing to many of you, which is why we wanted to bring it up before we talked about the roadmap. And to be perfectly honest, it's been really difficult for many of us and a lot of folks on the team who've poured their heart and soul into that stuff.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
So a few weeks ago, we put about state of the game communication that wasn't up to our standards for what y'all have come to expect for those kinds of communications.
There are a lot of tweets out there from some game developers talking about why gamers should not expect games to be like Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios. There's also a lot of tweets out there calling game developers lazy, defensive, ungrateful, whatever. But who's right? Both? Neither? Let me explain from the start. Baldur's Gate 3 is a series of video games developed around the world of Dungeons & Dragons. The tabletop RPG serves as great inspiration for an RPG in video game form, and this series managed to license D&D to make games in the original setting. The first and second game in the series were developed by BioWare and Black Isle Studios, and published by Interplay Entertainment. However, while developing their third game, Baldur's Gate 3: The Black Hound, announced in 2002, Interplay experienced financial problems and closed Black Isle Studios, leaving the third game cancelled, with no sequel in sight, just rumors and hearsay, until Larian Studios came out of nowhere. Larian Studios is a video game studio founded in 1996, primarily known prior to Baldur's Gate 3 for a series of RPGs called Divinity. There were several games released in this series, but after the 2014 title, Divinity Original Sin, they sought to license the Baldur's Gate series from Wizards of the Coast, the owners of D&D, but were actually denied by the company, with the reasoning being cited as Larian being too new to the industry, despite almost 10 years of experience. However, after Wizards saw pre-release material for Larian's 2017 title, Divinity Original Sin 2, Wizards was impressed and actually approached the company asking if they were still interested. Larian formally revealed Baldur's Gate 3 with no relation to the originally announced Baldur's Gate 3 The Black Hound right before E3 2019 during Google Stadia's presentation. So that's around 6 years of dedicated development, even through some of the most difficult times to develop video games in history being the pandemic. The game has 174 hours of cutscenes, an incredible level of player freedom, and is built upon 5e with some changes to make it work in a video game. So now you know the background of Baldur's Gate 3. How could the game possibly cause a problem? Well, consumers are loving the game. It became the most selling game ever almost immediately, and had over 1,225 years of playtime in a weekend. People are saying this is a feature-complete video game, and games should be like this always. This is after an overwhelming slew of subpar games and series releases recently. Modern Warfare 2, Battlefield 2042, Overwatch 2 was just a store update at launch and canceling the complete PvE for a watered-down version no matter how many people are liking that PvE for what it is. Diablo 4 came out and had big interest, but with late game problems and a seasonal patch that made everyone's build feel worse, that hurt too. Destiny 2 puts out a state of the game that feels like devs are saying the players are the problem, and that they don't have the resources to make armors that fans want while putting crazy armor in the shop. These games all feel like money is the priority of the game. Meanwhile, game devs are tweeting warning gamers not to raise standards for RPGs and other games, with many reasons why not to. It's money over everything. Profits are king mentality. Meanwhile, games like Elden Ring, BattleBit, Baldur's Gate 3 release feeling like they are player-focused and are huge hits. So who's right? Both sides of this argument are technically right. The reason is because the point is different on each side. I think there's a huge problem with misunderstanding of core arguments in the world today, at least here in the United States. It seems people always think someone is saying things they are not. Players are right that games should be like Baldur's Gate 3. Not for its long development time or apparent AAA budget that may have not even existed. Some say the series was very self-financed. Games should feel like the players are the focus. We should find the game meant to be fun for us and worth our time and money. Game developers are right because it's true that corporate boards at these studios aren't going to give them plenty of time and money to build 174 hours of cutscenes and hugely robust worlds and combat systems. But the developers should be making player-focused games. And if corporate greed won't allow for that and over-monetization is too prevalent, then those companies may just fail when players start preferring more of these player-focused games. There's also a point to be made that not all games have to be a 10 out of 10. Not every restaurant or movie is a Gordon Ramsay Michelin star-level dining experience or James Cameron blockbuster. I still love my trash McDonald's or terrible monster movie every now and then, but it's certainly okay for people to expect better whenever they feel it should be better. So keep working at and improving your craft, and good luck, game devs. Keep having fun and enjoying the fruits of those labors, and good luck, players. I hope you have a wonderful day, I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope you have a wonderful life. Bye for now.